Hey, it's Mikey.
Hey, Wire.
And we're gonna record a commentary for our old review of Terminator, the Sarah Conor Chronicles, Season 1.
Oh my god. It's been that long, huh?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, play. Alrighty. So this is your intro. A different one from the ones I used for our Document Judy Jetson and Huckleberry Hound videos.
Yeah, Jack made that intro for me.
Yeah. So thank you, Jack, for making this intro for me.
Oh god, look how different my hair was.
This was shot in January of 2013. Back then I still had the button that Karen and Color the Grayscale gave me on my shirt. I'm pretty sure that button's now somewhere in my house, but I couldn't find it for the jacket anymore.
Yeah, it was for the show she was putting together, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, one of these Yogi Bear videos was just as a preview joke of my crossover with Isaac that I was filming later. And so basically what happened was I asked Juan to do another Yogi Bear video, Hanna-Barbera video, and she said no, I do not want to. So she asked, could we do something else?
Anything else.
And at the time, I was just watching this show on my own anyway.
Yeah.
So I said, you want to do that? And she said, sure.
Yeah, it wasn't Hanna-Barbera, so I took my I took my blessings where I could get them.
Yeah. I think at the time you had not watched any of the movies.
I had not. That was true. I basically all I knew about Terminator was I knew of it. I had seen some of Terminator 2 on TV when I was a kid, but I hadn't seen any of the show, and I hadn't seen any of the movies.
I had seen them all at the time. I never watched the TV show though. That was, and there was the old ride at Universal, which is a fun ride.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I loved the ride at Universal. That was fun.
Yeah, but at the time I'd only just started watching the show. I think I'd watched the first 3 episodes at the time.
Right.
When I sent her the idea to do this.
Right. Fun fact, I listened to the commentary on the first episode of the show, and it turns out the guy who plays the Terminator at the very start of the show, the one in her nightmare, was a guy that one of the screenwriters met in a coffee shop.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was like, did I listen to the commentary? But now that you mention that, I do remember that part from the commentary, where they're like, hey, you want to do this thing?
Well, no, he was like, hey, what are you working on? It's like, oh, something with Terminator, and he had actually played a very Terminator-like character for a commercial in Germany or something like that. And
so he worked out great for them for this.
Yeah.
Alright. So this is all from the first episode. There were actually a couple extra things we were gonna make as like reference style jokes, like to like establish, see, it's the 90s because they're listening to the super 90s music. Though by the time I finally got around to editing this video, because like I said, this got shot in January 2013. I finally got it finished in May of 2014. And as I was editing it, I felt that those parts were starting to get a little superfluous, I guess is the right way to put it. They just didn't fit with what I wanted to do with. So I just cut them out basically, so that it just like moved quicker throughout the video.
Yeah.
This is also, frankly, a very different style video from what I normally do.
Right, because I remember
she wrote most of the script this time.
I did. You can tell if you watch it.
Yeah. It's a lot less of my style of jokes and more like her more analytical style.
I freely admit that I am not very good at jokes. I don't do comedy, especially not the way that like Tony Goldmark does comedy. I do wit. I can be witty, which is funny in its own way, but it's not at all the same thing as being funny.
You can see I'm trying very desperately not to just break down laughing in that one shot.
Yeah, believe it or not, this guy has a corpsing problem.
I can do serious for a while, but once I corpse once, that's pretty much the end. I'll do it constantly at that point. A kitty walked into our room.
Yes. So that's how we know this will be a... technically, this is now a cat video.
She's made this exact same joke in other videos we've done together. One like when we were doing a board game video.
Yep.
John's voice, and they have a stony-faced robot fight, which Cameron wins with the help of an electrical cord. But this is only temporary.
So, what's your cat's name? There goes the cat.
Yep. That's cats for you. Her name's Gigi.
I should... In case I haven't... I've had some people feel like it doesn't go... I do like this show a lot.
Yeah, me too.
The first season has some issues to it. The second... But overall, I do. I think part of it might just be attributed by my issue with the first season, were just because the writer's strike.
Yeah, the writer's strike
killed the first season, basically.
Yeah, second season was clearly.
We'll get into that a bit later. But I was listening to one of the other commentary tracks, and where they were talking about ideas they were having for what they were going to do in the later episodes of the first season that they couldn't do because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Like, in one episode, John and Cameron go to school, and a girl there commits suicide in front of them.
Mm.
And apparently that was going to lead into its own storyline. But they could not do that because but that story ended up getting completely dropped by the second season because...
Yeah.
And I also remember, I think them saying... I've also listened to the commentaries for second season episodes. I think they said that the second season's first episode was actually going to be something they were doing for the first season. But frankly, we'll get into that more later, but I do like what they did with this first episode of the second season. It works as a pretty great season opener.
2007.
It's actually... There is still a cat here, and that cat's gonna make this video and recording this commentary a lot less serious. Stop playing with the cat, Morgan. Hello, Dean Winters. I was actually, just because this is very shortly after, I was like, because I saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie a couple weeks ago.
Oh, is it good?
It's enjoyable enough, but Dean Winters is in it. In the scene where they play Vanilla Ice's song. Because I was thinking, wait, is that Vanilla Ice in this joke in this episode? Of this, like, one segment in the video? And then I looked up and no, it's Dean Winters. I'm like, huh. No, I know who that is too, because of this thing.
Right.
Yeah. This is also another thing that just because she wrote it, but I still was the one who edited this video.
Yeah.
This is also a very different style of editing, because normally I will just talk over like extensive sequences for the other reviews, but for this one I had to do very
talky.
It was already very talky, so I'm constantly also doing very short cuts for each thing, so that because I also had to find decent shots in each episode of the 9 episodes that I could use for each talking segment.
Right.
So there's a lot of different. So while the beginning segment of this review is primarily based in the first episode, I alternate through a lot of the later ones for the second half where we're talking more overview style.
Yeah.
While I'm trying to find just clips that I felt that could fit this segment that I needed. But that usually meant that so it usually means there's like several different cuts from different episodes just strung together so that they can be used as one segment. Because I just needed to find like a decent shot of her as here, one shot here, shots that I felt like fit the moment that I needed.
Right.
And this is Derek. He's only in this show. He's not referenced anywhere in the movies.
No.
But I like him as a character.
None of the characters are able to really be objective about him, except maybe Cameron, who he seems to really, really hate, even for a robot. After Sarah starts trusting Cameron, it often falls to Derek to be convinced she's up to no good. It makes him kind of a one-note character, but I'll reserve judgment until we find out what their history actually is.
I think they get into that a little more in the second season.
Yeah, a little more.
At this point, it's been, like I said, it's been 3 years since we shot this video, and I've also watched the second season, but it's also I haven't watched any of those episodes.
Right.
Hello, cat. I haven't watched any of those episodes since we filmed this video, so it's now been because while I do like the show a lot, just having to constantly rewatch footage after footage, trying to find clips means I heard the dialogue a lot over and over. So just so I can have some time away from the footage, I haven't watched it since.
Right.
But it's still a fun show, and I probably will go back to it at some point once I've gotten back around to it. Once I've gotten it a little more out of my system, so that I can actually watch it again without thinking about how much time I spent looking at this same footage over and over.
Yeah,
again.
no, I remember for my show, there's always a point where I'm like, this is the worst thing anyone has ever done.
Yeah. This is my favorite show ever, and I cannot watch another episode of it because of
I never ever want to think about it again.
Yeah. That's something that occasionally happens where it takes something that I do like a lot in editing, and by the time I finish making that video, I'm just so sick of it.
Yep.
And then there's other times where, frankly, it's something that I've watched it enough times that I'm starting to like not hate it as much, even if it was something I flat out disliked when I did it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and now lasting segment, which is my penchant for referencing one thing. The Rockin' with Judy Jetson movie.
Oh God.
I've sort of made it almost a thing that I reference that one movie far too much. Not even in just our style crossover. Also, I decided to do the credits as close as I could to
the Terminator credits.
Yeah, which is why I played the music over it. And thanks for the card, Dennis, for DeVillo. He does good stuff. And I guess we can end this by saying he also did the card for the second season review, which we have shot. I am editing that. It'll be out at some point.
At some point. Or the world will end. That's always a possibility.
True, but I'm optimistic that the world won't end, and at some point I will have the second season reviewed out as well. So, that's the end of that.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.